Hello, good evening, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Ed McCullough. Our guest this evening is Bill Roper. Bill is a motivational speaker. He is a T.B.I. speaker. T.B.I., that is traumatic brain injury speaker. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's go right to it. Traumatic brain injury.
Yes.
This is the topic that you speak on, and do you speak from personal experience?
Absolutely. When I had a traumatic brain injury in 1968, I was unconscious for 3 months. I had no idea what was going on. They kept me in an induced coma for most of that time so my brain could heal. When I became aware that something was terribly wrong with my body, I was in Walter Reed Army Hospital, many thousands of miles from the killing fields of Vietnam where I was injured.
So
I had no idea.
In Vietnam,
Yes, in
can you
Tet
describe
Offensive.
the nature of the event? Was it an explosion? Was it a grenade? Was it a bullet? What was it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
My brain was injured to the point where I've got no memory of about 2 months there. It's just black. It's a dark hole in my memory. What I know is from what people have told me, what I've seen from my medical reports, and that's it.
And in terms of, let's say, the overt manifestation, if you will, did you have swelling on, in terms of physical symptoms? Did you have swelling on the brain? Did you have a giant contusion? Did you have cuts, bruises? Do you know?
I was
do you even know?
What I know is what friends have told me that was in the Army with me and what was in the medical reports. I was thrown from a Jeep during the Tet Offensive. My head struck the ground with such force, my brain began to swell uncontrollably. The blood loss from the contusion to my brain combined with the swelling of the brain caused a tremendous amount of intracranial pressure. This intracranial pressure put me in a deep coma, and I was about to die. Fortunately, there was a fine neurosurgeon on hand when I was admitted to the 24th Evacuation Hospital. This happened...
This is in Vietnam?
Yes. This happened within close proximity to the 24th Evacuation Hospital. Fine hospital.
Fine physician
Fine
who
physician.
relieved, I would imagine,
drilled holes
relieving
in
the
my head.
pressure was the first and foremost.
He drilled holes in my head, took me immediately to surgery, drilled holes in my head, saved my life.
And induced a coma that you resided within
In
for
and out
3
of-
months,
in
and
and out
you
of
wake
coma.
up and you're no longer in Vietnam, you're stateside, and you're wondering what the heck
Right.
happened. There
First
has
thing-
to be a tremendous disorientation upon awakening.
Yes. First thing that I became aware of, other than my body not functioning very well, was the fact that a friend of mine was there that I had been having my picture taken with in Vietnam. I was standing with this friend of mine having our picture taken. He was in the 93rd Evac hospital, and I was visiting him on a daily basis because he was a friend from high school, and I was letting his parents know what his condition was. And next thing I know, I'm in the hospital with him. How did that happen? I didn't know, but I found out eventually.
And I have to imagine, as a speaker, there's
talk-
not a day that goes by we don't read about brain-related injuries
Traumatic.
with IEDs, with the vets that are currently coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yes.
The technology being improved such that they survive events that they wouldn't have survived before, but survive it quite often with traumatic brain injury. Are you talking to those guys?
I'm talking to as many as I can, yes.
And when you talk to them, you use your own personal experience,
Yes.
your model of, how shall we say, healing and getting back on your feet and re-engaging in so-called normal stateside life. You chart that course for them?
Yes. Everybody has the ability to overcome this. Most people don't believe it because they're filled with worry, doubt, and fear. They worry about what might happen or what could happen. They doubt there's anything they can do about it, and they fear the worst possible outcome. So what do you think is going to show up in their life? The worst possible outcome.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
That's right. So I help them deal with the fact that they can do this if they believe it. If they believe it strongly enough, they can do it. I never doubted that I could overcome this paralysis.
Well, and
I did
describe some of the symptoms that you were in an induced coma for 3 months and you woke up and you had that initial disorientation. But describe the time frame and the path of healing that you went through before you felt that you were, how shall we say, reasonably fully functional and recovered, if indeed you've ever gotten there.
99%. 99%. That's one of the articles written about me was 99%. Anyway.
How long did it take, and what were some of the symptoms that you can advise the other guys as to how to deal with them?
Well, the feeling is like your leg going to sleep. I'm sure everybody is had the blood cut off to their leg is crossed watching television, and their leg goes to sleep. You lose the sensation in your leg, and you try to get up and walk, and you fall down because your leg is not working, it's not functioning. That's what paralysis is like. I couldn't stand up, I couldn't move my body, but I knew I could with concentration. If I focused my attention on my body that wasn't functioning well, I could make it work, and I did. And the doctors were amazed that I was able to do this.
So
I believed I could.
I was just going to say, if you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it.
Absolutely.
But that's a key. It's not strictly a physical phenomenon. It's that mental, emotional matrix that goes into injecting the life back into those muscles to get them working again.
Absolutely.
So how long did the rehabilitation take, let's say, before you were fully ambulatory, able to walk around and function physically, say, up to 99%?
Several months, which was amazing to the doctors. When I could stand up, the doctors thought that was amazing, but I knew it wasn't. And I wanted to do more, and I kept trying to do more, and I kept falling down, and doctors admonished me for doing that because they said, you're going to get hurt. You're going to hurt yourself. Don't do that. Don't try that. But I knew I had to do my part. I couldn't rely on the doctors to do this for me. I had to do it myself.
And that truly is a key component
Absolutely.
of the message to these veterans, which is
Absolutely.
You're not passive, you're not a recipient of this
You
process. You have to be proactive. You have to be the guy making it happen, guy or
Absolutely.
girl making it happen.
Absolutely.
You have to take a proactive part in this process and basically take charge of it yourself and implant, I'm going to say, a positive vision of where you're going to end up.
Right, right.
And so do you go to VA hospitals? Do you participate with vets who are going through physical therapy?
Yes, I've been trying to set up a situation where I could do that on a regular basis. It's been difficult because of funding with the military. Years ago, a good friend of mine who started the National Veterans Foundation, Mr. Shad Meshed, I spoke with him about my situation, how I wanted to give back and help vets, and he was contacted by an author and a writer who was writing stories about traumatic brain injuries. And she wrote several articles and had them published about me and my situation, and I got a lot of publicity. I got the head of the National Defense Veterans Brain Injury Center in Washington, D.C., Dr. Deborah Warden. She wanted me to be on their National Board of Directors and to help them with veterans coming back from war and how to deal with traumatic brain injuries. And I was all for it. And yeah, we're going to do it, and we'll be in touch. And we'll be in touch just never happened. It got part because of funding for the war and budgetary cuts and so forth and so on. It just never happened. But I went around to several of the hospitals myself, and I began to work with the Greater Los Angeles Veterans Hospital in Westwood, California.
On Wilshire Boulevard.
On Wilshire Boulevard, absolutely. Yeah. Right. And I worked with the units there, helping the soldiers that are coming through there dealing with traumatic brain injury, and we work with them, helping them to adjust and to function better, dancing and playing board games and just getting their mind to work again.
Getting their mind to work, getting them to have a little bit of fun, getting them to use those muscles and the brain and the whole package. Right. Believe it or not, we're out of time, but hey, thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Ed.
Thanks for sharing the story.
Appreciate
and good luck. We really appreciate the work you're doing.
Thank you.
We have been speaking with Bill Roper. He is a motivational speaker, T.B.I. speaker, that is traumatic brain injury speaker. I'm Ed McCullough. This is Talk of the Town. We'll be right back after these messages.